Okay, so how do you really measure a player's legacy? Do you just count up the goals, or is it about something else? Is it about those very specific moments, the ones that actually change the course of football history? Today we're going to look at Cristiano Ronaldo's career not as some long list of stats, but as a series of crucial, game-changing interventions.
And this right here, this is the whole key to understanding his impact. We're not talking about just any old game. No. We're talking about those moments where everything, and I mean everything, was on the line. Finals, knockout stages, the fiercest rivalries. These were the situations that really forged his legendary status.
I mean, is it just raw talent, or is it something more? We're going to make the case that true legendary status, it's built on a foundation of these unforgettable moments, the kind that reshape entire tournaments and just completely silence stadiums.
All right, let's start with his first run at Manchester United. Now, this wasn't just another game. This was the Champions League semifinal. And in this match, Ronaldo unveiled this terrifying new combination of speed, raw power, and pinpoint precision that would, come to define his entire career.
40 yards. Just think about that. From 40 yards out, he unleashed a free kick that just seemed to defy physics. It was an absolute thunderbolt. And it wasn't just a goal, it was a statement. A moment of pure, unstoppable force that left the keeper, and honestly the rest of the world, completely frozen in place.
You see, this was so much more than technique. That whole performance was him broadcasting his sheer power and his unshakable self-belief to everyone watching. It really marked his definitive switch from being this talented kid, this prodigy, into a global superstar who could take over the biggest games all by himself.
So then he moves to Real Madrid, and this just throws him straight into the fiercest rivalry in all of football, El Clásico. This became the ultimate pressure cooker, a test not just of his skill, but of his pure mental strength against arguably the greatest Barcelona team ever.
Imagine being in the camp now, this incredibly hostile place, surrounded by nearly 100,000 screaming fans who hate you. Well, he didn't just survive in that environment, he thrived. He seemed to absorb all that hatred and all the whistles, and he channeled it, turning himself into Madrid's ultimate big-game weapon, delivering killer goals time and time again.
And of course, you literally cannot talk about Ronaldo without talking about the Champions League. That was his stage. It was the one tournament where he seemed to have this almost supernatural ability to just bend results to his will. This is where he cemented his reputation as Mr. Champions League, with one unforgettable performance after another.
Just think about this for a second. That acrobatic bicycle kick against Juventus in 2018. It was so breathtakingly perfect, so unbelievably brilliant, that the home fans, the opposing fans in Turin, they actually got on their feet and applauded him. That single moment of genius not only knocked them out of the tournament, but it convinced Juventus they had to sign him. It's just incredible.
And then you have the comeback against Atletico Madrid. They're down 2-0, looking at elimination, and he single-handedly dismantled one of the best defensive teams in the world. This wasn't just a hat trick. It was 3 goals of pure authority. One showing his aerial dominance, one his composure from the penalty spot, and one his ruthless movement. It was the ultimate proof of his absolute dominance in that competition. But greatness isn't always about scoring goals. One of his most defining moments, believe it or not, came when he couldn't even play. And it revealed this totally different, but just as crucial side to his character.
In the Euro 2016 final, he gets injured early on. His match is over. But instead of just disappearing into the locker room, he completely transformed. He became this frantic, passionate coach on the sideline, motivating his teammates, yelling instructions, and showing a level of leadership that absolutely inspired Portugal to pull off that improbable victory.
So, as his career went on, Ronaldo had to adapt. I mean, it happens to everyone. His explosive pace started to fade a bit, but his knack for deciding games, that did not. This next chapter is all about how he evolved his game to defy age and somehow remain a decisive force.
And there is no better example of this than his hat trick against Spain in the 2018 World Cup. The entire planet was watching, and he put on an absolute masterclass. The defining moment? A perfectly placed free kick in the dying minutes to complete his hat trick and rescue a draw for his team. It was the ultimate display of an ice-cold mentality when the pressure was at its absolute highest.
So why do these specific moments matter so much? Well, because they all have this common thread, right? They all came when his team was right on the brink of failure. They showed him thriving in different leagues, under different systems, and all together they built this powerful story, this narrative of inevitability, a feeling that when it mattered most, somehow he would always find a way.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with.
When we look back on it all, his career isn't just some random collection of amazing goals. No, it's a structured timeline. A timeline of specific moments that changed outcomes, that defined tournaments, and that cemented a legacy built on one thing: delivering when the consequences were permanent.